I believe in America. I believe in the freedom and opportunity.
We recognize the right of all people to believe as they want and not to impose our beliefs on other people. I believe that abortion should be safe and legal in this country. I believe that since Roe v. Wade has been the law for 20 years, that we should sustain and support it.
This effort isn't about a person. It's about the cause of American freedom and greatness. Thanks so much.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital, had invested in a company called Stericycle. Now, this is a bit of an issue for him because Stericycle gets rid of aborted fetuses from clinics. They have to clean them up. Now, look, let's keep this real. If you're in favor of abortion, at some point, that's going to happen, and some company has to dispose of those remains. And it's a very unfortunate thing, and nobody's in favor of it, and that's just, you know, everybody has a queasy feeling talking about it. Even if you're pro-choice, you think it should be legal, it's uncomfortable, right? Now, Republicans, of course, for the most part, almost entirely, are pro-life, right? And so this is particularly queasy for them and say this is the worst thing ever. That's why they often compare it to the Holocaust, yada, yada, and they have all these outrageous things that they say about it. But you would think that if you were a pro-life Republican, you wouldn't be investing in a company that does that, okay? Now, Mitt Romney had an answer for this before. Oh, Stericycle? No. We invested in them late in 1999. As luck would have it, Mitt Romney left Bain Capital before that in early 1999 to go help with the Olympics in Utah. So this is not an issue. It's a decision Bain Capital made after Mitt Romney left. So press, don't talk about it, ignore it, let's just move on. Here's the only problem. Mother Jones put in requests for documents from the SEC and has now found out that Mitt Romney, in fact, appears to be very involved in the decision to acquire Stericycle and made a tremendous amount of money off of it. So let's get to some of the facts. According to those SEC documents, Romney was the sole shareholder, chairman, chief executive officer, and president of all of these entities that did invest in Stericycle: BCI, BCP, 4 Incorporated, or I'm sorry, 6 Incorporated, Brookside Incorporated, and Sanctity Limited. So those were all the companies that wound up buying about 11%, or what Romney controlled was 11%. Overall, with their partners, they bought 22% of Stericycle and hence had controlling interest. But now here's the even more interesting part. The second part of the revelations from Mother Jones. Romney, quote, may be deemed to share voting and dispositive power with respect to the over 2 million shares of common stock in Stericycle in his capacity as sole shareholder of the Bain entities that invested in the company. Dispositive power means he has the final say. As Bush would say back in the day, he's the, what you call the decision maker. So all this talk about how Romney, Stericycle, nothing to do with it, except for he had dispositive power. So no question. In fact, one of the documents is signed by Mitt Romney himself. So it's now absolutely clear that he was intimately involved in this. And in fact, his company, of course, made, as they always do, a tremendous amount of money from Stericycle, some of which was stole while Romney was still in that 2-year period where he claimed he was not involved with Bain Capital, but in fact, as we find out through these documents and others, was still involved in Bain Capital, was still making decisions. They had originally put in $75 million. By 2001, they had gotten out $88 million. So he had already turned a $13 million profit from disposing of aborted fetuses. Now later, they would eventually make a $49.5 million profit from that investment. So the bottom line is, and he still got to enjoy those profits. Romney still had money in Bain Capital till very recently. So bottom line is, Mitt Romney and his company made nearly $50 million disposing of aborted fetuses. So now, if these Republicans really care about being pro-life and think that those aborted fetuses were really human life, and Romney made all that money from getting rid of them, you would think that that would be problematic. In fact, if he was a Democrat, I could already see the ads. Look at this politician that profited off of dead babies. You think they wouldn't run that ad? They'd run that ad in a second. Now, it's their candidate, their presidential candidate. What are they going to do about it? Here's my guess. Nothing. They're just going to shut up about it and go, oh, yeah, Romney, pro-life, absolutely, Romney. I hate Obama, I hate him. But wait a minute. Obama didn't profit from any of that. Romney's the guy who made $50 million off of it. Shut up. I hate Obama. That's what's going to happen. Okay? But the reality is, if you're actually pro-life, you should be disgusted by Mitt Romney. But, you know, it goes to the last point, which is Romney doesn't give a damn about anything. Every single story we have ever read on this issue of what he did at Bain Capital, what he did with his career, leads to the same conclusion. Look, you lost your jobs. Who cares, man? That's capitalism, baby. Right? I had to shut down your plant because I played financial tricks and I made $12 million while everybody else lost their shirt. Who cares? My shareholders lost money, or the guys who invested their money with Bain Capital, they got wiped out. Who cares? You know, you lost your pension. I shut down your plant in Indiana, and you had a contract. I violated your contract. I drove the company into bankruptcy. Meanwhile, I took out so much money from the company that I made a tremendous amount of money while I destroyed them. Who cares? Oh, you get rid of aborted fetuses, which I pretend are human life, and I make $50 million off that? Who cares? As long as Romney makes money or gains some sort of advantage, he couldn't care less about policy. As a governor, you mandate it's a tax, it's a penalty, it's this, it's that, it's states' rights. Who cares? You know, Ted Kennedy called him multiple choice because he switched so many times. And that was, you know, that was back in the 1990s. He'd already switched so many times on the issue of abortion. He switches a couple more times since then. Who cares what the policy is? Who cares what the ideology is? Who cares who gets hurt? The only question in Mitt Romney's head is, how do I benefit from this? How do I, Mitt Romney, gain from this?